Hey guys, this is Lapis, and today, although technically not today because pre-recording, I'll say that again, we are talking about the channel's history. Yes, I still feel very unprepared to do proper YouTube commentary talking-esque videos, but I'm doing them anyway because I want to, and it's stuff that I've been enjoying making, regardless of how cringy I feel doing it. So, today we're talking about 2017 versus 2019. About maybe half a month ago, I did a video for my 4-year channel anniversary celebrating, well, 4 years of the channel. And I talked about 2015 versus 2019, and though it's only been half a month, there's been some new hypothetical things happening in that short amount of time, which is crazy, all because of that video, which I will get to in 2019 part of this video, because I do plan on cutting it up and having a little bit of editing, but yeah, I'm gonna get more straight to the point on this one, because this one, this one will probably have less editing than 2015 versus 2019, because A, I have no time, no pun intended. B, I feel like the other one deserves more editing as the fact that it's the 4-year anniversary. This one is just kind of adding extra detail into the stories and things, and it's talking about how things happen. So, I think I'm going to leave this one to be a more simple edit, but so if you're planning on watching the video with your eyes and your ears, maybe just throw it on in the background as if it's a podcast or something, because that would probably be a better use of your time. I can imagine I'll probably just do something simple for an edit, but rather than ramble, let's get into the actual stories and stuff, shall we? So at the start of 2017, I essentially opened doing pretty close to the same stuff that I had done in 2016. Yes, I'm very prepared for doing this video. I've shot this twice, but basically what I would do is just simply I recorded from the new Elgato setup, because I had gotten it recently in 2016 and I was still excited for testing it out and stuff. I was working with microphones and setting it up to Xbox One, things like that, and it worked, and that was great. And one of the first important things that I did in 2017 was I transferred Adventure Series to Xbox One Edition, where it still is today. And although Adventure Series is on Xbox One Edition, and Bedrock Edition exists, and it has all this new stuff, all the Village and Pillage, all the Update Aquatic, all that stuff, Adventure Series still hasn't moved from Xbox One. And I kind of just keep it on Xbox One just because it's easier for the sake of recording. I believe the graphics on Xbox One still look better than Bedrock. Bedrock still reminds me too much of Pocket Edition. Xbox One Edition is more bright, it has better lighting graphics, but I suppose that's kind of inevitable considering Bedrock has to connect with Pocket Edition, and Pocket Edition isn't really that great with managing stuff like that, I wouldn't think. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm still gonna stick with Xbox One. It's also easier for the sake of if I were to blow something up in a video, I wouldn't have to rebuild the entire thing or or have to go through the process of making a copy. I could just record the video, blow it up, reload, it'd be fine. Little to no steps added on. So, yeah, we're probably gonna stay on Xbox One for at least a little while longer, probably. I don't think I'll switch to Bedrock, but I don't know, maybe eventually. Probably not, though. And anyway, the next thing, actually, the video after, was another thing that was also kind of significant. I included in my 2017 rewind, which was Team Manx versus Team Lapis. It was a 4v4 video. Basically, we had a somewhat, I guess you could say, a friendly rivalry. I know sometimes we jokingly talked like that, but I don't know. But we ended up having a battle mode game, and battle mode is, if you didn't know, it's essentially a 4J's version of Hunger Games. Basically what they would do is they added it as a mini-game option, and basically how we had a team of 4 versus another team of 4. Me and Manix were the captains of the teams, and basically we would try to fight on each different map, and we'd see who wins on each map. And as you can tell from the titles, it failed, and we just kind of haven't touched it since. And I don't think after 2 years we're gonna get back together and say, hey, let's record another video that we did 2 years ago that failed Hooray! This is the content everybody wants to revisit. I believe there was like me, Clenching Might, of course, I think. Why wouldn't I include Clenching Might? He's a great PvPer. JT, and I think Mr. Pig, who I'll get to later. He was a pretty significant character for 2017. I haven't really talked since, though. Anyways, afterwards, just some update videos, Clenching Might's World, and I actually hit 100 episodes of Adventure Series, and that was pretty crazy. We did a whole bunch of parts to that special. We did 5 parts to that, I'm pretty sure. We did the first part because there was Drummer's birthday, because there was uploaded on the 18th of March, which is his birthday, if you didn't know. His gamer tag is DrummerBoss318, 3/18 is March 18th. There you go. It's probably a semi-common fact to my older viewers, but we did a part for his birthday, we did a part for the house and its surroundings, we did a part for the town, we did a part for the area surrounding the main town, we did a part where we showed off the recreations, and that was that. Then, because I had this weird out-of-nowhere glitch on Xbox where, like, I couldn't get into Xbox Live, and, like, I had gold set up, but it wouldn't let me in, and I think my controller kept, like, desyncing every 2 minutes, and I couldn't record. I just ended up recording, like, on PC for a while, and I think I do still have videos on PC. Like, basically what I did was, because it was the server that inspired me to do a Mesa biome in Adventure Series, I just went to do the Hermitcraft world and kind of toured around there, and I would say it's Adventure Series, because I remember trying to build stuff of my own there. I basically did that because I was like scared that I couldn't get back onto Xbox, and I was like, okay, I have to do something to record Adventure Series, I have to do something temporary. I don't know. Those might eventually go up on Advent Archives, maybe. Like, if I'm not going to release them to this channel, no. But I might release it to that channel eventually, because I do have some other videos that I might want to release on there as just other random snippets of content. But also around this time, I believe I started working around more with editing, as I'd done during the 100 episode stuff. I did a test with the green screen. I took a random clip from one of Drummer's episodes and just put that, "Don't let your kids watch this," green screen from Robbie Rotten, I put that on there. I did another thing where I essentially just tried to make a TV setup. I built a TV based off of Exuma Void from Hermitcraft. I just built that TV and I put it in a room, and I made what would be the TV screen to green wool, and I just did some editing where it looked like there was a TV in Minecraft or something. It was an interesting edit, but I haven't done anything like that since, because I've done mashups for 2 years, which I'll get to when it pops up. But anyways, after that, I decided to do a 500 subscriber Q&A. And I did announce a Q&A recently, but I haven't gotten nearly as many results as I was expecting, so that's probably canceled. But basically, 500 subscribers was something that I hit 2 years ago, so I was like, hey, let's go ahead and do a Q&A for it. Let's celebrate this. So I started doing occasional things where I would just announce, hey, this is happening. Make sure you ask some questions, please. Although, I did re-announce it because I had to delay it because I didn't have enough time to edit or get like a video in the background in general, but afterwards I did the Q&A itself, and after that, the most important thing to happen was I hit 2 years of YouTube, which, saying it now is still significant because, yes, I hit 4 years of YouTube. This is 2 years ago. This is 17 versus 19, if you didn't know. 15 v 19, that's a different video. Plug for that, it's probably better. But for that video, I went back to that TV concept. And actually, since I'm talking about the 2-year anniversary, I may as well talk about it now. In 15 v 19, in the opening segment where I was in the Woodland Mansion, I just was like, oh, I recorded something for my 3-year anniversary, but it's probably just sitting in my thing as a dead project. Maybe I'll upload it, but probably not. That was actually the 2-year anniversary, And the 3-year anniversary was the video that I did for 1K subs. I merged them together as the 1K plus 3 years and 1 day anniversary. So that was actually the 2-year anniversary, so now I feel even older on YouTube, God. But basically, for my actual 2-year anniversary, what I actually ended up doing was I revisited that editing thing where I did the TV in Minecraft, and what I did was I took my first episode of Adventure Series, and I decided to make it as if it were an old reel. Like, I'd also done, about this time I had started to really get into like music and mashups, things like that, and I was kind of inspired by, I don't know if it's up still because I feel like it was a video that would probably be deleted, but it was called Recording Town like Old Mix or something. Basically what they did was they did an edit to Recording Town where basically it was like they had a projector and they would shoot onto the screen and they just added in like sound effects of like a camera tape rolling, and they made it black and white on the actual imagery, things like that. And I was like, maybe I could do something like that. So I did. Ultimately I couldn't do it as well because my editing software isn't the greatest, but that's what I ended up doing, and that video is actually of significance later on, because as I've discussed in Adventure Series 125, there's a certain group, which is why today is the day of upload, although, of course, pre-recording. A little bit after the 2-year anniversary, I did another video, which should sound familiar to the people subscribed to me about now, and not watching this a year after it's released. We are number 1, but it's mashed with cactus string sand, my first mashup. I decided to remake it later on, and that's where cactus string sand, We Are Number 1 2K19 comes in, which is what I uploaded about a week or 2 ago, I think. But basically, this is about the time when We Are Number 1 was at its peak in memes. We Are Number 1 is one of my favorite memes to ever exist, and I decided, you know what? Because July 10th is Stefan Carl Stefanson's, Robbie Rotten, he's the person who plays him. It's his birthday that day, on July 10th, so I was like, sure, let's do a video. Let's do a We Are Number 1 meme, because I'd done one before, but I deleted it because it was poor. I think it was like, almost like a cover-esque thing. I think I was screaming in my mic, and it had a really big dislike to like ratio, and I was like, no, this is bad. And I deleted like a day after it was uploaded. I don't like thinking about it, but I decided to do a better meme, and I uploaded that, and it was pretty good. It has one of my higher viewed videos, I think. Like, it has 2.2k views as opposed to most other videos at that time, which have more like 160, 130, something like that ratio. So it was a pretty good video. Although I like the remake more when it comes to how the audio is, I like that video that I actually put together for that. I remember working on that during summer. Anyways, that was the first mashup I ever did, and since I'm bringing up We Are Number 1 and Stefan, I guess I will link in the description the same thing that I linked under Cactus String Sand 2019, because there is an organization that his wife wanted to promote after his unfortunate passing due to bile duct cancer. So I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'll put a link in the description. It's a good foundation from what you said. But feel free to check the description. Back to the actual story though. A little bit afterwards, I started a new, I guess, channel tradition. The very next video after that one was a time lapse of my 2017 profile picture, which was basically a simplified Minecraft-esque art style where basically I would make everything really cubey but also have shapes. It was unique, I'll say, for the least. It's definitely no longer my favorite profile picture. That one probably goes to maybe 18. Maybe 18 is my favorite picture. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, probably 18 is my favorite one. 19 is also pretty good. I think it beats 17, but I don't know. But I started that tradition in 2017, and I've been doing it ever since. And I don't know, I like it now. I have a consistency with profile pictures and banners and things, so that's nice. Anyways, afterwards, one of the larger videos that I've ever done is next. It was a world tour of Pigopolis. It was a city built by me and another guy, Garrett, known as Mr. Pig 413. And I mentioned him a little bit earlier, I think, with the Manax v Lapis thing. And basically, JT had introduced me to him, and because they're friends in the real world and stuff. So we got together on Minecraft, and what we decided to do was the story of how Pigopolis came into existence is he decided, I think I'm going to try to do a city where everything is built based off of a tutorial. So it's just kind of like an example of what you can do with tutorials from X-YouTuber, because I remember he said, I'm going to follow X-YouTuber with tutorials, and tutorials is definitely something that comes into play later with the whole mini drama I mentioned in AS125, but basically what happened next was he was like, you know what? Forget the tutorials, I'm gonna try my own stuff. And he started to set up all these roads and bridges and tunnels and things like that. And he's like, okay, this is gonna be fun, and I'm gonna build my own stuff. I'm gonna try to improve my own building skills as opposed to just waste my time using tutorials when I could be using my own creative muscles. So he decided to work on that more, and I eventually came in to join the project. We started off doing houses, we expanded out, we did some shops, we did more bridges, we did a whole theme park based around Bumbo Cactoni, because I believe at that time Hermitcraft Season 5 had started, which is when that was, I don't know, kind of a larger joke, and we all watched Hermitcraft at that point. I still do watch Hermitcraft, it's one of my favorite series. Bumbo and Green are two of my favorite YouTubers as well. Basically, that whole city was just amazingly, it was well done, and it also has some of my favorite terrain that I've ever built in it. All around the city, I terraformed a gigantic mountainscape where basically it was just mountains. It was very simple in the fact that it was just stone, grass, and snow. If I could, which probably I won't be able to, but if I could change anything, I would try to make it so the grass goes into the stone and the snow comes down onto the stone as well. And I'll add in some stairs and variation to it, but I can't go in the world anymore at this point because it's kind of dependent on Garrett. But that's what I would do if I were doing it nowadays, if modern day me were doing it. Anyways, that whole world was amazing, and it was one of the most fun projects that I've ever done. And I guess tying it back to the other thing, Manax also did a tour of it, I believe. I remember, actually, fun fact, the thumbnail for Mega Mashup 2017, which is probably the worst title of any of the Mega Mashups. The screenshot for the thumbnail, which is like Pigopolis, the city, with like other mashup thumbnails over it, that was actually taken from Manax's tour because I didn't get because I couldn't find that specific angle in my own video that well. So I decided, you know what, let's just go there, and I believe at that time was when I kind of reduced the group to just me, and I don't know, occasionally Clenching Might, but anyways, actually, between those two videos of the tour, we quote ended Clenching Might's world, which was, we were bored, me, Clenching Might, Power Creeper, we had been talking a lot more, like, for some reason, with Clenching Might and Power Creeper, we have our weird times where we always manage to talk, and it always manages to go into, we talk basically daily to maybe every other day someone goes in the chat and just says, hello, anybody alive? Remember when we did stuff, lol? It varies from every day, like, 1,000 messages per hour to, is anyone alive, lol? It's a whole crazy thing, and basically at that time we had started to talk up more again, and we decided to try to do a completely separate series. We'll continue Clenching Might's world as a 100% legit survival world, and we'll do it in a amplified world, because we had this urge to play in amplified for some reason. I don't remember why, but we did. We also did a little teaser-like thing, like, CM's world is the old order, a fraud, the new one will be legit. We called it Something is Coming, and the group is called the Order of Something. I don't know if we ever mentioned that, but that's what we're called. that's the broader group name, but we're closing in on the start of the story. And I guess since it's kind of fresh in everyone's mind because I just discussed it, I'll jump to the Pigopolis thing. So, essentially, this other lad wanted to tour Pigopolis, but I don't know, we wouldn't let him. I genuinely forget why, but I believe he kept claiming like, oh, you're clearly doing all of this from tutorials. And while one single house that's like, what, maybe 14 blocks by 14 blocks was made from a tutorial, the rest of the area, completely original builds, just all of that type of stuff. Well, yes, we did have a recreation from Bumblecactona, and that's probably the most understandable part. For the most part, just everything was original except for that and that one house. That's it. And he kept claiming, oh, you did everything based off tutorials. These mountains, tutorials. The roads, tutorials. This house that I literally am building while you're yelling at me, tutorials. Yes, I look oversimplified. We had this whole little semi-drama thing. He tried to do a diss track with really poorly done vocals and things, and it was kind of a joke between me and JT for that time, like, oh, yeah, we're gonna strike back and stuff. And this was actually first when I started to get into mashups, because we were discussing like, oh, right, do you want to, what do we need to find a no copyright sounds to do this with. And I was thinking like, oh yeah, do it over I got no time, why not? And I remember the first mashup I tried to do after Cactus Drink Sand We Are Number 1 was a no copyright sound that JT found with I Got No Time, to see if you could merge both of them and just avoid that by using the no copyright sound part over it. It was a weird thing. I don't think I'll ever release it, but basically that was a whole semi thing. We never released it because I feel like it'd just make this overreaction into something way too dumb. But yeah, that was a whole semi thing that just happened. I don't remember. And he also did try making a city of his own. And I believe he tried to take pictures and things of... He was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take pictures of all of these builds and rebuild them in my world and claim them as my own. And we were like, no. So we trapped him in a box. And I got really mad because we trapped him in a box. He's like, why are you trapping me in a box? Because you just said you're gonna do that and claim it as our own. We want to protect our stuff, lad. And they're like, no! I want to see the world. I'm a great tourist. Yay! It was definitely just one way too big overreaction, honestly. Just why? Thinking about it just makes me just... Why? Why did that even happen? It was just... 2017 was a confusing time for just everyone on YouTube. I mean, you had all the... This was what, the height of the Vine invasion, whatever it was called, or the start of demonetization, all the diss tracks and stuff that happened. Just, disgusting. But yeah, 2017, not fun time. But anyways, this is about the time when mashups start to take over the channel. Because after Adventure Series episode 104, if it tells you anything that we're only on episode 125, and 2 years ago we're on episode 104, then I hope that says something. It takes 2 years to make 20 episodes, or something. 2 years to make 21 episodes, great. I have great production value, everyone loves my channel. But afterwards, I did a mashup between, again, I Got No Time, and a song, Valaya, by the LCF Pro. If you watched 15v17, you'll definitely know he's a significant character to me and my usual online group. So hearing that he'd done a music thing, I was like, oh, this is cool. And again, about this time, I was really starting to get into listening to mashups. I believe about this time I remember subscribing to channels like Brick Films and Kohuff, but I was like, oh yeah, I should try to do a mashup between this and I Got No Time. That'll be fun. And it did it, and it actually turned out pretty good. They worked pretty well. But yeah. And after that, I did We're Number 1, but it's with shift click, which is another one of the videos I did for We're Number 1 memes, which was also pretty good. It was, I don't know, it was one of my higher viewed videos from that time, but, oh god, so, afterwards, I do a video called Random Mashup, I've Forgotten Your Time, and Build Our Machines Instrumentals. And I thought that would just be it. That would just be whatever. But it kind of got more views than the last video pretty quickly, which was an update video on Adventure Series and Better Together, which, again, that video, no, it doesn't work. Anyways, after that, I was like, this is kind of fun, actually. So I did Build Our Machine, I Can't Fix You, I Can't Fix You, Gospel of Dismay, more I Can't Fix You, Build Our Machine, stuff like that. And these videos, the videos at about this time, became those videos that I dread existing today. Like, in my video where I do a tier list of my 25 most viewed videos, these are all videos that are really low down. God, why? Why? There's a voice crack for you. Add that to a compilation in 5 years, shall ya? But I did those videos, and I don't know, about this time is when my audience primarily shifted from Minecraft to mashups, in a sense, because I did a video later on for Thanksgiving special. I did an edit to Drummer's Fun Adventure, the episode where Brother Boss falls off a cliff and dies. Well, supposedly dies, that's the twist. He doesn't die, he becomes the villain. Ooh, spooky. And basically that video, I guess, while it's been 2 years, and probably after 2 years, your video will hit its height views and only increase, and will maybe increase at the slowest possible rate ever. There's a definite clear drop down between the video before it, 288, then it drops down to 74. Then the next video, I Got No Time, My Ordinary Life, which was one of my most popular videos that year, straight up to 9K. It definitely shows a drop off. And after that, of course, 4.4K. And I guess similar thing, which I did do a video which was intended to be my Thanksgiving special, which I'll talk about a little bit in a second, which was Adventure Series, 2 years and 4 days. That was released, guess what, 4 days after Thanksgiving. And that was kind of, Drummer Boss is dead. He's gone, reduced to atoms. Brother Boss succeeds and essentially just traps him in a box with a quote-quote command block, like, oh, yeah, no respawning lol, and then just burned him alive in lava. And then I ran off, I bumped into JT, I'm like, JT, he's dead, what do we do? And at this time, out of me, Drummer, and JT, I was the only one still uploading, I believe. Because, hang on, what? Yeah, this is Thanksgiving special, of course. But, actually, yeah, I'm gonna jump back to the other story in a second, because it's the story I'm thinking of, but basically out of us three, I was the only one uploading. And again, I also can see a great example of a clear drop-off with Minecraft videos, because you can see Build Our Machine, My Ordinary Life, 4.4K somehow, drops down to 137 for the Adventure Series, up to 800 for Recording Town, I Got No Time, down to 43 for me doing a little teaser video for the 2017 recap, because at the time I thought that's going to be my best recap ever, which I hate 2017's recap in comparison to my modern mashups and Basics of 2018 or Not. Basics of 2018 or Not is one of my best videos, I think. Like, outside of, like, it gets both main aspects of the channel at this point summed up pretty well, and I like it. But, just 43, 531, just, at this point, the view ratio between mashups and Minecraft had shifted significantly in the favor of mashups, which was kind of the first indication of a style change with my channel, and basically from then on until the end of the year, it was pretty much primarily mashups. I had a Quenching My World special for Christmas, I did a Graveyard and Adventure Series because of the episode where Drummer Boss dies, and that's it for 2017, and ended off with mashups. Now, let's jump to the interesting story as to why this all happened, I guess you could say. Although I wasn't really involved until July, which was kind of the final month where it existed, the Xbox One crew was a major part in why everything happened, how the whole mashup transition came into play. So it was founded on the 21st of January, which was actually the same day as the Manx video, I think, actually, the 21st of January 2017. And it ended on July 16th, 2017. As of today, it's been 2 years since it collapsed. And kind of the main importance of it is, as I said in my Adventure Series episode 125, either or 15v19, I think AS 125 though. It was kind of like, I guess you could say, the European Union of Minecraft YouTubers, of small Minecraft YouTubers out there. No, there's no like players in the group that were that large of a channel. I think like the most subscribed person was like maybe 25k, something like that. At least that's what I know. I don't know all of the details about it. As I said, I was only involved in like the last 2 weeks it existed. But basically, what happened was it was kind of founded by a few close friends of drummers, and drummer decided to go off, join them. I believe he became co-leader for most of its existence. I think. I don't know the whole story exactly. I'm speaking on this mostly from a third-person point of view. I don't know exactly what happened in general, but pretty much what happened was Drummer Boss started to work a lot more with those two people, and their group gradually grew up to be larger and larger and larger. And it's kind of like those stereotypical movies where one character leaves to go mess with someone else, and then their former group comes back and says, "Hey, we exist still," and they're like, "Oh, hey, hi, how are you?" In a sense that he was mostly working with them, and while he was gone, most of the other stuff that was important related to Minecraft happened in 2017. For example, I met Garrett while he was gone. We did all of Pigopolis. We did the new Crunching Mites world. We did all of that type of stuff while he was off working with the Xbox One crew to work and improve on everyone's channels. And that's kind of what happened. And eventually, I believe, I don't know the story, but we knew it. Me and JT, we were talking a lot at this time. The group was essentially had been reduced to me, JT, and Garrett. That's kind of how it was, as drummer was off with that group, and we weren't talking nearly as often as before. But basically what happened, JT somehow got roped into the group, and he was added to the roster. I believe the list of people that were in was maybe like 20-something people at its highest. That's just my guess, though, seeing as something happened. Again, I'm speaking more on a third-person perspective. I don't really know how everything originated, what the story is, why it was made, the stories of everybody who was in it. Hell, I only really know Drummer, who and JT, they were in it. But basically, what happened was JT got invited in, and around that time, shortly after JT was added, they announced a recruiting challenge video thing, and I was like, you know what? Maybe this could be a chance to reunite the group under a different name.
Hey guys, this is Dylan, the founder of the Xbox One crew. So yeah, we're going to be doing a recruitment challenge today. So there are two ways to join. You can either be a GFX designer or a content creator. To be a GFX designer, you must make us a revamp, and you must have Skype, and you must send that to our Twitter at XB1Crew. To be a content creator, you must send your best video to us on Twitter, and then we'll look at your channel. Good luck, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget...
I was like, you know what, I'm gonna join. And the video that I sent, as you could probably foreshadow, I sent in the 2-year anniversary special, and they liked it a lot, and because I had recently gotten on Skype at that point, they added me to that general group chat, and I don't know, things seemed pretty normal. Like, it just seemed like the typical things that I had predicted from a behind-the-scenes group chat, whatever. Just, I don't know, occasional jokes towards each other, and just generally more or less just, okay, this is how we're going to record, this is what we're going to record today, we need to make sure we have all of this, blah 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 blah. So I was part of the group, though I was never listed under anybody's videos. Like, I don't know how much I uploaded during that time period, but I was never really acknowledged as there. I mostly stayed silent. I played the Swiss card, I guess you could say. Because in a sense, I was there just mainly because, like, it's an easier way to connect with people I already know, and I'm not good at socializing. So, basically, eventually stuff started to break down, and occasionally, like, jokes where someone would just poke fun at one another broke into drama stumping. I don't remember who exactly was involved, but for some reason, because of all the yelling and infighting, people started to leave. And it started to collapse pretty fast. It took like maybe 3-4 days. Like, you can see, like, as someone who saw the stuff going down as it happened, I could just, you see, July 15th, 2017, everything happens for a reason. I think it's time to recruit some new members, and then goodbye. Just, that looks like this, like the type of stuff that would be posted under, like, stress, like, oh, what's going on? Just, we need to stay calm. Stay in control, please. Don't die. Like that type of stuff. A little bit after, I was one of the few, I believe, before the end of the channel, the chat, whatever, I moved on to Discord, which, I have a Discord server! Plug! Link in the description! But, there was only like 9 people left, and then they just kind of said, oh, the leader was like, okay, goodbye, and then everyone was wiped out of the channel. And that's basically what happened, and after that stuff went down, just pretty much I as required by the group, I was subscribed to everyone. I've pretty much unsubscribed from everyone since, but basically just I don't think I've really seen many uploads from anybody formerly in that group ever since. Like, although I was part of it, I think it's a safe bet that I'm the only one that's continued to do YouTube after the whole thing collapsed. Even although I don't really consider myself as part of it because I was never involved in any recording sessions or anything. Like, I remember trying to do a hide-and-seek session in, I think, like, an Avengers tower or something. It was like a hide-and-seek game. I don't have a recording of it. I don't think anybody else uploaded it, but oops. It basically died instantly after about a week, less than a week of infighting, and then it kind of collapsed. And as a result of that, everyone pretty much went silent. There was a little bit of an attempt to continue on from, I think, Drummer, who was the main person that I knew from the Xbox One crew, trying to come back. Like, I believe he talked about, oh, hey, let's record some Drummer's Fun Adventure. Hey, we can do a birthday special. We can do this, whatever. And I was like, okay, that sounds nice. And one day, he just randomly got off in the middle of a talk. I sent him a message on Skype saying, hey, are we going to get back on again? Are we going to go and finish doing this? And I've had no response ever since. And although he has sent me a message on Skype, although he has sent me a message on Twitter, we haven't really talked since, like, one-to-one. Just in general. And after that, like, JT also kind of left, like, for maybe a month, 2 months, something like that. Basically, what happened was it was just me and Garrett for a while, and because it was only me and Garrett, basically what we did was we built up Pigopolis, we built all the terrain, we built all of that type of stuff. And during that time, for the most part, I believe I was also inactive on YouTube. I had, like, this maybe 3-4 months break. Not break, just, like, the whole demotivated thing, because everybody else I knew was just gone. I didn't feel like doing anything, although I did eventually come back, because I was like, hey, Pigopolis is cool. Garrett's here, he's cool. Let's do a video. Why not? And I remember I'd uploaded the Builder Machine mashup, and people were like, oh, that's good. And basically, after those months of inactivity, and after discovering, I guess, other channels doing mashups, I was like, okay, I think I can start maybe doing some more of these, because these are actually somewhat fun to make. So, as a result of the collapse, and everybody being silent, it led me to doing mashups as a sense. So, in a sense, it's kind of tied in, and granted, still, I don't really know anybody who is part of the former group. I don't know if they've totally just destroyed their old identities, moved on, changed their name, changed their banner icon, channel identity, whatever, and then just uploading under a different name. But I don't know. I can't speak for everybody. I'm only speaking for myself and from what I know as a third person's perspective, but that's kind of just the collapse and how it's led on to, I guess, what's known as today as, I guess, my Mashup Era. And there you go. There you go. Mashup Era. It's been brought up. Therefore, I can transition to 2019. So I've already talked about my opinions on 2019 in 15v19. Some slight things have changed. In the video I mentioned, oh yeah, JT's here a lot. JT is now messaging me for quite a while, so that kind of has changed in the snap of your fingers. Grimmerlaw sent me a message on Twitter showing that he was going to do something similar. I believe he commented something like, oh, I'm going to do something similar. This is a great idea. I love this video. So, probably listening to this now, so good at it! Good at it, lad! He is working on something, so expect a new video on his channel soon, I'm assuming. Again, I don't know, I'm not him. He has worked on an edit for a video, so I think something could happen. Anyway, in Clenching Mode, we've just been messing around more with Minecraft. We're getting together in Clenching Mode's world. We're basically doing a whole bunch of exploring, well, primarily me. Clenching Mode has been doing a lot of technical things. He's been working on a Guardian farm, Enderman farm. He's gonna work on a raid farm later, which is, I don't even know how that even works. But if you can find a tutorial or something for that, that would be very, very well good. Because we're working on a lot of like expensive, rare stuff in Country Mountain World. We're working for like mending armor, things like that. So those are just kind of the quick updates. But 2019 as a whole, again, if I had to discuss it, just the channel is lonely. All I can really say. Yeah. Outside of YouTube, I've also mentioned pretty much everything. 2019 is very, very short when it comes to like variety of content, although I guess I am trying to bring back Adventure Series, so I guess, you know what, future plans of 2019, let's go with that instead. So I guess the first thing, I do have a video planned for August. It's going to be similar to 15v19, this video, and 14v15, in that basically it's going to be the 1 year anniversary of the upload date of Basics of Behavior or Not, which is, I believe it has the ability to become my most viewed video. Like, I believe the Gen House tutorial has slowed down a lot, and that video has continued. It's had a steady increase over time, so I believe there's a chance it could pass and overtake and become the most viewed video on the channel, which would be, I feel like it would make this channel better, honestly. But I do plan on having a video similar to these for that date. Of course, I plan on doing another rewind once December rolls around, but of course, December is December. I'm recording this in July. There's a clear difference between July and December, is it not? Those are the main things that I've been thinking of, probably just more mashups, and yes, Adventure Series will definitely continue. I don't care, Adventure Series will continue. Kind of what I've thought of, yes. 29, thinking of this day and age. God, just, I'm gonna look back on 2019 and be like, the hell was I doing? So, there you go. That's kind of the end for that segment, so yay. So, I guess this is an outro. I've been bad at outros for the last, 5 Adventure Series episodes, where I just either say, this is the end, or whatever, but I don't know, I feel like I'll do a proper-ish outro today, so I guess, what's it? Yeah, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe and ring the bell for all of those notifications. Serious note, thanks for 1.8k. I've never would have expected to reach this level in subscriber terms, so thank you for 1.8k, guys. It's great. Yay, thank you. Yay. I just exist at this point. Until the next Adventure Series. Bye.